Problem 3, we want to simplify the square root of 200. Now there's a couple ways to do this, but one way that we're always guaranteed to get is we break this down into its prime factorization. And to do that, we start with a factor tree. We break 200 down into what two numbers multiplied together give us 200. Well, we might say, hey, the most common you're probably going to see is say, hey, 2 and 100. Okay, good. 2 times 100 gives me 200. Can 2 be broken down anymore? No, so it's prime, so I circle it. 100, well, that's, some of us might say, oh, well, that's 25 times a 4. Okay, can 25 be broken down anymore? Yeah, that breaks down into a 5 times a 5. Can that 5 be broken down? No, it's prime, so I'll circle it. That 5, prime, so I'll circle it. Come back to the 4. That can break down to a 2 and a 2. Each of those is prime, so we circle it. This tells us that the square root of 200 can be broken down into the prime factorization of a 2 times a 2 times a 2 times a 5 times a 5. So this is the same thing as a 2 times a 2 times another 2. We had 1, 2, 3, and then 2 5s. 5, 5. And that's correct, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40, times 5 is 200. Now, a square root means what times what gave me this. Well, notice you have a 2 times a 2. So each pair can come out. So that set of 2's, which is really a 4, could come out as a 2. Can anybody else come out? Oh yeah, you have a pair of 5's. So a 5 would come outside of the radical sign. Left behind inside the radical is a 2. And so we end up on the outside having 2 times 5, which is simply 10, times the square root of 2. This square root of 200 simplifies to 10 root 2. And that's what we like to write it as. That's its simplified form. Just like we simplify a fraction of 4 over 8 to 1 over 2. 4/8 simplifies to a half. The square root of 200 we like to simplify to 10 root 2. Root 2 can't be broken down any further, so I know that this is correct, that I've done this correctly. The other option is some of you may have noticed when you had the square root of 200, you may have said, hey, I recognize that's a square root of 2 times that perfect square of 100. And the square root of 100 is simply a 10, and then you're left behind with root 2, and it would give you that. Either way is fine, whichever works well for you. If you struggle with things and you can't see perfect squares, hey, go to this. Go to the, get the prime factorization. It will never fail you. That's what I like to go to. It's just easier for students, so this is the way I recommend most of you do it. And there's my answer, 10 root 2.